If you don't fight with your partner, you think this is a good thing, but it's actually a very strong clue that you're going to break up. I'm Benny Lichtenwalner, and I help people get their exes back. And you wouldn't imagine the amount of people that come to me that are completely confused because they had this, what they thought was this amazing relationship where they never fought with their partner. And then all of a sudden, one day, out of the blue, their ex breaks up with them. This is what we call conflict avoidance. And these types of breakups are initiated by people with a dismissive avoidant attachment style, people that were emotionally neglected in their childhood typically. Now, anytime that you get a couple that doesn't fight, you could have one or of two different archetypes in that relationship. Number one, somebody that doesn't want to fight simply because they just don't have the energy for it. They just want peace. They don't have the emotional processing power to really keep up in an argument, and they're either going to freeze or they're going to try to get out of there if things get too intense. So they just want to sweep everything under the rug and just be happy all the time. A lot of times this individual, like if something's wrong, they'll make little comments in passing, but they never like pull you aside and have like a real talk. And they'll give you a dirty look and just kind of expect you to understand what that means. And then the other archetype of conflict avoidant individuals would be somebody that kind of wants to bring up the issues. They really would like for certain things to happen in the relationship, but they don't want to push it too far because at all costs, they don't want to lose the other person. They are afraid of abandonment. And at the end of the day, they'd rather not get their needs met and just bite their tongue instead of risk pushing that other person away that just wants peace. So archetype number one is the dismissive avoidant. They're emotionally neglected. They don't have the energy to really get into shit. So they're just never going to bring anything up. And they're just going to avoid their feelings, avoid all the problems. Archetype number two is an anxious preoccupied. Somebody that has experienced abandonment in their youth and is deathly scared of re-experiencing that, that wound. And they're just going to cling to their partner and, allow that other person to ignore the problems. Now, sometimes you can get two dismissive avoidants together. And it's actually thought that this doesn't really happen in psychology, but I've come across it several times. It's more rare, but you can get two dismissive avoidants together as well. And in any one of these combos, like two DAs together or a DA and an anxious together, you're not going to have any fighting. Sometimes these relationships can last a long time because people are hanging on by a thread. They're not really solving any problems, and they still have fun together, right? There's a lot of fun and good times, but there's also a lot of bickering and sort of resentment that can build up over time because the issues aren't getting solved. And every one of these type of couples would come to me and say, hey, look, like we never fought. It's like, not something to brag about. This is a bad thing. Not that I want you like yelling at your partner and going crazy, but at the end of the day, there's going to be conflict, and not all of it is going to be able to be solved in a calm tone. Why? Because there's shit about you and your partner that if you're really going deep, it's going to trigger you. If you're really touching on the issues, it's going to trigger you, right? Unless you're just having this surface level sort of comfortable relationship, and a lot of people do that, and it's not sufficient to stay together for the long term. Anyway, long story short, if you have an ex that you would like to get back, click into my profile, click this link right here, set up a call with me, tell me your story, and I'll give you a step-by-step plan to get your ex back based upon your story.